The definition of faith: complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Complete. When someone's faith is not complete, it can be barely called faith at all. What's worse is if a man that was once faithful,
my enormous faith.
This is my victory.
loses faith.
You force me to reveal my strength. See the power of the Archdemon.
Is this the ceiling sphere? Huh?
He turns sides.
Can you hear the approaching ruin? This is my victory. Command. Victory! Obey. Kneel.
What's going on, guys? I really wanted to do something a little bit special. The intro wasn't too crazy, but I really wanted to kind of like really delve into this character story, because this character story is a lot of what happened in the beginning of the game. This is a character story that is related to almost nothing that's currently in the game, but why we still play the game today was the beginning of the story. It was so epic and so clean, and you have this guy, in my opinion, was one of the coolest characters in the game, which is Vildred. You know, he was not an heir. He was not, you know, Judge Kisei. He was not Ruel. And funny enough, if you look at it, he's not as strong as those characters in the game. But he was just really strong. And come to find out that this guy has been with Raz for a long time, but he just keeps getting his memory erased to a certain degree. Now, what happens is this side story explains what happens in the time frame in which, after Kayron slashes this guy, implants him with memories and things of that nature. This is before Raz wakes up, so Vildred is on his own. As it reads here, 20 years ago, after the end of the Archdemon War, Vildred began searching for evidence of what he was told by Kayron. However, the longer he seeks the truth, the more complicated things reveal themselves to be. Now, I was going to skip over this because of the complications with my computer. As you can see, I did start doing some of it, and that's all I've gotten up to so far. But when I did this chapter right here, I stopped and I had to cover it. I don't care how many views this gets, but I really love how interesting this story is. So let's just pick it up from here, and I'll just tell you guys what happened through these. This first thing here is that Kayron is just inside of Vildred's head and is constantly telling him that, you know, Raz and the others are lies, which we find out that Raz is not technically lying to him. He's just not telling him that, you know, everyone is going to die. And, you know, the heirs, I always mess that up, they don't come back. So once you that's the reason why Vildred keeps coming back after he's fought in a couple of wars. We only know that he's fought in 2, but he keeps coming back. Anyone that decided to be an heir does not come back. So unfortunately, it won't let me replay that cutscene, so I'll have to explain it to you guys. Which is really cool about this is that we've seen all of these random things, like certain characters that are in the background of these artifacts. And one that actually is cool is this guy right here. Now, I never knew who this guy was. His name is Aki. As you can see here, is Heir Aki. He was one of the heirs, and I think he fights in the 5th war, and then the 6th war is where, you know, is the one that we're familiar with, and Epic 7 is the current, you know, current world that they are living in now. So what happens is that this guy, he is fighting with Raz and also with Vildred, and this guy uses all his power to actually ward off the Archdemon army and defeats Kayron. He uses the Strock Gauntlet, which is actually this, and you can see here how they explain it. When the eclipse began, those small gloves started to spew fire and engulf my whole body. The spirit inside the gloves had woken up and were able to defeat the Archdemon. He apparently must have done it in like the 4th war or something like that, and then again he does it in the 5th. But in the 5th time where he actually ends up dying, there is no eclipse, because Kayron is aware of this and he for some reason it's like, oh, there's no eclipse, boy, what are you doing? You're not going to be able to do what you did in the past. But apparently he realized that he could still bring out the power, I think by doing some type of sacrifice, because that is how he dies. He pretty much helps them win the war by sacrificing himself. But Vildred's issue is because Kayron is showing him this of the past. He's showing him this conversation. He's showing his past memories because Vildred's fighting with Raz and he keeps forgetting everything that happens because the world keeps resetting. Kayron lets him know that the world is resetting, but you're kind of just getting put into the past. Pretty much, if I were to tell you, this video is going to be going up October 18th, 2019. So let's say that tomorrow on the 19th, the war is fought. If you are heir, you will die. But the world will be put back to, let's say, the 1st of October. And that is why Vildred comes back. He doesn't remember fighting in any of these wars because the war is going to happen on the 18th. He has no idea. You know, so that's really what's really cool about this game. One of the lore bits that I really do like is that they really do a good job of the lore. And as tedious as this game is, it's kind of the only reason why I still play it. So if you guys skipped over this character story, once again, I'm sorry. I actually think you missed some really cool details of the time frame in which Vildred is walking around, running around everywhere. People are starting to get suspicious because he does have the Archdemon's power. I can show you that as well too. You guys might be familiar with this scene, is that when Vildred slays something and then boom, they come out of nowhere and then he gets cut. Right there, you can see that Kayron is pretty much, he kind of beats him up, but he does infuse him with the Archdemon's power at that point. He gives it to him so he can actually go then and later on kill Queen Diane and things of that nature. But still, we have not uncovered what was the official tipping point for Vildred, and we're about to find that out now. Alright, finally we are actually in the side story. Now, what's happening now in the side story, now we finally got some new dialogue, is that Vildred is still walking around with Kayron. Kayron is in his head pretty much, but they're showing you on the screen when he does pop up in his head, so I guess it makes more sense to you. So he's pretty much now starting to believe Kayron's words. So now Kayron is like, follow me here, I'll show you memories and I'll show you what happened in these locations in the past. And here we go. So now he's showing him another memory. Someone saying, I can trust you because you're as good as the heirs, as us heirs, and it's probably going to be Vildred talking to one of the other ones. And I wanted to point this out too. You no longer need my guidance. Kayron is doing an excellent job. This is like the classic way to break someone's spirit, is to show them the truth. When you're trying to show someone that something that they believe in is not right, that it's not actually wrong, you don't pressure them too much. You just kind of tell them, hey man, what you believe in is not true, it's not real, and all you have to do is go X, Y, and Z, or go to this website and you will find out the truth. This is the A1 way of doing it. And as soon as he brings Vildred to this location and he starts feeling some of the memories that pop up here, he's like, bam, all right, I'm gone. Here's the memory, bro, watch this movie, I'm gone. So here it is again. It's Vildred and Raz. The heirs are distracting the acolytes, and these two are pretty much now going to go do something in the sanctuary. I forgot exactly how this works, is that they have to go do something and they win or something, I don't remember. And this is so sad, as if you know the story, is that, see, he thinks that once they take out the Archdemon that it's going to be a-okay, everything's going to be fine. He doesn't know that the world's going to keep resetting. Since you're the only hope of restoring peace, of course you need to be protected, so you don't owe me anything. I would gladly risk my life to protect you, even if it means I die. And this is where Raz kind of messes up. And if you know the story, this is the issue, is that yes, we can defeat the Archon, there will be peace, but he knows that the world is just going to reset. So he just kind of knows, and he kind of feels in himself that there's just no point in doing this. Kayron figured out the secret plot. Vildred steps in. But he's a little bit more stronger and more powerful at this. I don't know what war, I think this is the 5th war, maybe the 6th. I'm not too sure about this, when this actually happens. And he gets bodied. And like I said, he is not an heir. He is literally just a overpowered human being. Vildred is stupidly strong within the story. And right now, Vildred is trying to do some old school Goku Piccolo. He's trying to hold Kayron down so Raz can land a finishing blow on him. And And Kayron again just points out the foolishness in what he's doing, just sacrificing people left and right. You gave up on this world, didn't you? Yet you continue to allow these foolish hares and soldiers to risk their lives to save it. This world kept alive through the sacrifices of so many, how meaningful do you truly believe it is? The contemptible heir of the Covenant, I look forward to hearing your answer in the next world, chuckling. Raz, answer me, what is this about? You said you gave up on this world, then why are you letting people die like this? I'm so sorry, Vildred, I can't tell you anything, but please trust me. Everything I've done for Orbis. Alright, and this is the final confrontation. The last beautiful little map. Let's see what other information we get out of this. Now, Vildred is asking Kayron to guarantee what he sees is real, which is kind of weird to ask of him, but like I said, there's no reason for him to lie to him. Don't you already know that's a stupid question? Are you going to believe what I say no matter what? Like, if you think he's gonna lie to you, why would you even ask that? But see, he doesn't know if it's legit that Raz is sacrificing a lot of people for this war until he figures out pretty much how to end it, which we do figure out. He does somewhat figure it out later on. But, or it's just Kayron messing with him to just make him lose his most trusted, you know, companion. So Vildred comes to the conclusion that over the course of the repeated destruction and restoration of the world, I'm certain he tried to tell me the truth. You're talking in assertions, but I assume you still want to believe in the Heir of the Covenant. Yes. Well, let's find out what his real intentions were. I hope you don't change your mind. Now this is the 6th world. This is the world that we saw in the cutscenes when we first started the game. Yep, because he's talking about Kisei and Ruel. We're very familiar with this one. Uh-oh, Raz about the little slip of the tongue. No, don't say that. I don't want to lose anyone this time. This time, what do you mean? Haha, nothing. It was a slip of the tongue. I guess I'm too nervous about fighting the archdemon. Nice try. You're hiding something from me again. I once thought of you as only the Heir of the Covenant, the person who would save our world. But as we overcome countless hardships together, I came to think of you as a friend. And ever since then, I started to see what I couldn't see before, and I realized that you've been hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. Yes, he is. You're not being honest with me. Is it because I'm not an heir, or I'm not someone you can trust? That's not it. It's just sometimes you're better off not knowing the truth. But even so, you don't have to carry the burden all by yourself. You should share. You should share with. No, this is my problem. I can't. No, I don't want to share this burden. This is very similar to Yuna's side story, and it's very similar to anyone dealing with anything. That is why when you are in trouble, you should seek help. There is no problem that you need to necessarily deal with on your own. Of course, you have your own issues, and it's best that you deal with them by yourself, but there is always people you can look to, people you can help with. That's why I answer countless questions when people are like, this is not going my way. At the end of the day, you probably have more, you know, physical responsibility to like physically go to that place or talk to that person or get that new job or something of that nature. But there's nothing wrong with letting other people know that that's what you're doing and what you know, that you need some help. You know, that's the same thing with people with suicidal thoughts, same thing with people, you know, in relationships and they don't know what to do. Asking for help or asking for other opinions, advice is perfectly fine. And as you can tell, this is what causes Vildred to tip, is because not only does he feel like his boss, you can even look at Raz as his boss, is lying to him. And if you guys have ever worked a job, you probably hate when your boss is like lying to you and it makes you feel undervalued. And then secondly, as a friend, he is lying to him. He's not telling him the whole truth, so he doesn't like that either. I won't tell this to anyone, not even the heirs. So Raz just doesn't believe that anyone would fight for this cause. It's like he knows that they need to fight because they need to not lose in that way, but he doesn't think that they'll still fight if they knew the truth. That's why he's holding the secret, pretty much. And Ruel looks demonic. Do you see that shit? Oh, that's creepy. So this is a cool thing, is I think this was in the beginning, is that Kisei and Ruel actually overhear this conversation. I think that they're aware of it. See, he's hiding something. They know he's hiding something, but they trust that he'll tell you everything one day. But right now is not the time, so let's be patient with him. It won't be too late to hear his story after we've saved the world. Since you said you think Raz as a friend, you can wait a little longer, right? And here's what happens again. Vildred is fighting a bunch of monsters. Kayron comes in out of nowhere. There he is. That's a little bait there. He's trying to bait him into the conversation. And now, what's interesting here is that Kayron doesn't try to do this to him beforehand. He only does it in the 6th world. That's when he tries to convert Vildred, because he realizes that, you know, you've probably been pissed once you find out what the truth is. And as I said before, this is when he implants that little strike that he gave him. That's when he implants this power into him so he can start taking on some archdemon power. And then he remembers that conversation. And this is just the damning part, is that Raz did say that. You know, this is not within Kayron's thing. If we were to go back in the story journal, Raz didn't want to tell him. He just didn't want to admit those things to him. But not for these reasons. It's because he didn't think that the people would want to fight if they knew that. It's not like he just wanted them to just cycle in a stupid war. And that's what it is. This is also kind of true too. Kayron talking about the goddess not wanting to leave the world. Protecting our one and only world, that's our duty, don't you agree? See, now Kayron's doing, like I said, he's doing the smart thing. He's using these people's, his memories pretty much against them. But is he really? It's all because Raz won't tell him the truth. Kayron, what world did I just see? That was the 6th restored world, the world that existed right before the current world, yep. So the world already went through 6 cycles of destruction and restoration before this, which makes this world the 7th. Correct. Do you feel like you're a step closer to the truth that you've been seeking? The truth, well, the truth is no longer important to me. Oof. Because I don't trust anything anymore. The only things true to me anymore are these unmistakable feelings of hatred, rage, and resentment. You said I'm the only one who can sever this painful chain of sacrifice. Very well. I'll save everyone. I'll do anything, whatever it takes. As long as I can prove them wrong in this 7th world. DJ, Hero of the Covenant, wait for me. So that is it. That is the lovely story. I actually would love to hear you guys' opinions on Vildred. I think he's a pretty cool character as far as story-wise. I actually wish they did one on Dark Corvus. Dark Corvus's one is very similar. They both had a lot of faith in the goddess and everything, and then they both kind of went into the archdemon's power. You only hear about Dark Corvus in the side story. If you go off into the side, you kind of get a glimpse of what he's done. But I feel like they should give him one too, because Vildred was affected almost the same way. They're pretty much like the same character as far as like Vildred, Arbiter Vildred, Corvus, Dark Corvus. I think it would be a really good thing. And Dark Corvus has gained a tremendous amount of popularity from the beginning of the game. Actually, in the beginning of the game, everyone thought he was trash. So, you know, now that Tam is around, people realize that Assyria works, but didn't think of it before for some reason. You know, so it would really be cool to see that type of character get its story. And a lot of other characters. What other characters would you guys want to see get a story done and flesh out their characters? Because, you know, after Halloween, what else are they really going to talk about? But anyway, that's going to be the end of it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys like the little difference. I'm trying to mix up a little bit the side stories and even sometimes make them into a full-on story of how that character is all in general, especially if it's a character story. But anyway, all you guys got to remember is that every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.